Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
Thanks for staying with us on Enterprise Morning. And our main conversation today, former governor of the Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele, now knows that he will be spending this year's Christmas and the dawning of this new year in jail. Now, that's because a Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja has adjourned the procurement fraud case brought against him by the EFCC to January 18 and 19, 2024 for a continuation of the trial. Emefiele is standing trial on a 6-count amended charge on alleged procurement of vehicles to the tune of 1.6 billion naira. He had pleaded not guilty to the charges. He was granted bail on November 17, 2023 to the tune of 300 million naira and 2 sureties and remanded at the Kuje Correctional Center, pending when he meets his bail conditions. At the resumed hearing, the prosecution witness, who is a top official of the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC), told the court that Emefiele neither owned nor had shares in April 1616 Investment Limited, the company that was awarded a 1.2 billion naira vehicle supply contract by the CBN under Emefiele. He was led in evidence by EFCC lawyer Rotimi Oyedepo, who tendered several documents on how the company was incorporated on August 1st, 2016. He further read out the names of the shareholders of the company, which comprises Aminu Yaro, Mariam Abdullahi and Saadatu Yaro as joint owners of the entity. Emefiele's lawyer, Matthew Bodka, who declined to speak on camera, said his client is yet to meet his bail conditions, but the former CBN governor was in court. Our guest this morning is Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid. Barrister Tunji, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming on the segment of Enterprise this morning. Let's start off with this particular question. Emefiele, we know, has money. Why was he not able to meet up with the bail conditions?
They are not asking to be money. They were asking to be 2 sureties.
And he couldn't provide those sureties?
No, he was given a bail. Let me just highlight it.
Okay.
He was given bail for bail bond of 300 million naira with 2 sureties in the like sum. What they are saying is that, look, for you to go home, you must provide 2 people who must be able to establish that they are worth 300 million naira. It's not as if that money will be deposited in the bank.
Okay.
That person, those 2 people who are sureties, who have to show that, look, we are worthy of being this surety. In other words, we can meet this 300 million naira bail in case he escape. In other words, the Emefiele try to run away. They will be asked to come and pay the 300 million naira. And apart from that, they were also saying that, look, that person must have another property in Abuja, in the brown area in Abuja, with certificate deposited with the bank. So probably those are the issues. And you know,
that doesn't mean that they made it difficult for him to meet those. When you make such stifling conditions to meet bail conditions, would you say that's deliberate in order to keep him in Kuje prison?
Probably because maybe they agree with the prosecutor that he may likely jump it, and in order to ensure that he will not jump it, they want to give him a condition that will be able to make him stay back.
But if Emefiele was going to jump bail immediately before Tinubu came on board, he would have travelled out.
Yeah, probably. Unfortunately, he did not travel and he's here. And then,
or he didn't foresee this circumstance.
No, he's traveling out will not even help him. Let him come out. Let him stay and face his ordeal. And then
some people will believe that if he had travelled out, he would have prepared himself for this.
Madam
Dezani
has not. Today maybe she will be contesting or thinking of contesting to be a governor of the state.
Even now, she has a UK situation.
And let me also correct an impression. He may not stay there till January.
Really?
Whether he will stay or not depends on him.
Okay.
The court has done his part.
Okay.
It is for him to determine whether or not he wants to stay, how long he wants to stay in that custody. Oh. If he's able to bring the surety today, he will be released today. Because some people will now say, maybe it has been done to January. Why was he released yesterday? Yes. Because he's a big man. No. If he's able to bring the surety today,
he'll be
released today.
Now,
so the court is just waiting for him to meet those conditions for them to release him. So if until that condition is met, he will still remain there. Even if it's after that January 18th, he's not able to meet, he will continue to be there.
Why has the EFCC not arrested him?
Who?
The EFCC. Other legal luminaries have said that because he's in Kuje prison, the EFCC could have actually asked for him to be released into their custody. Is it possible that as Emefiele is getting out of Kuje prison, if he's able to meet up with the bail conditions, that the EFCC may come again to rearrest?
If they have a case against him,
They have a case against him?
If they have a case against him, he can be arrested. But for me, the style we adopt in this country is not the proper style. If you have a case against somebody, you go to court and file your with or without EFCC arresting him. He can also be charged to court by EFCC. They can ask the court that they can file a charge in court against him, and ask the court to ask the prison officers to produce him for the hearing of those matters. So if they have a case against him, they don't have to wait and arrest him before he can be taken to court. Why they are looking for him to be arrested is that probably the way we do things in our country is that you arrest first, be looking for evidence from that person for you to be able to charge him to court. Probably that's what they are waiting for. Because ordinarily, if you have a case against him, you don't have to arrest him before you take. Though you can arraign him without him being in court, but you can also approach the court.
All right.
And file your charge and approach the court and say, court, make an order that you should be produced in court for this purpose. So, and the court will do that. Unfortunately, they are waiting for him because they want to ask more questions to be able to know whether or not they will go ahead with it.
Now, since the arrest of Emefiele, a lot has actually happened. And Nigerians are asking questions as to the legibility of Emefiele being retained in custody when there are other persons currently occupying government positions that ought to be either in Kuje prison, be in the DSS custody, or possibly be in the EFCC custody. So let me lay down the premise for the more questions I'm going to ask, which aligns with Emefiele's situation. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has slammed the agreement between the immediate past administration and Ethiopian Airlines over the management of Nigeria Air. Now, you do know that 6 months after an elaborate ceremony on May 26, 2023, that is before the inauguration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to celebrate the arrival of its aircraft. Now, the name of this aircraft is a Boeing 737-800. Nigeria Air has remained dormant ever since. So prior to May 26, the Nigerian Air concept has remained dormant. Now, here it is. The Nigerian Air was founded in 2018, and ownership stakes are divided among Ethiopian Airlines. Ethiopian Airlines owns 49%, Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority owns 46%, and the federal government owns 5%. This is basically how the ownership of Nigeria Air is broken down. Now, speaking to State House correspondents earlier on yesterday, after this week's Federal Executive Council meeting at the Aso Rock Villa, Keyamo said President Tinubu is to determine the next step for the Nigeria Air project. Now, I'm going to ask Barrister Tunji because there is a loophole in this. It's almost like you're creating an avenue for Hadi Sirika, the former aviation minister, to leave the country. Keyamo said, I'm going to quote, he says, I cannot preempt my president. I cannot. Now we have looked at all the issues and it's before Mr. President, and arguing that it would be irresponsible of the federal government to allow through on a deal that gives monopoly of Nigeria's aviation industry to a foreign entity. The minister used that opportunity to give a snippet because he said Nigerians are quick to judge. According to him, he says, in the agreement, referring to Hadi Sirika and Ethiopian Airlines, you are giving tax waivers to Ethiopian Airlines coming into Nigeria for 5 years. They asked for 5 years tax waivers, and you granted them to come and compete with your local airline, which are paying those heavy taxes. So according to Festus Keyamo, right, based on the agreement or the arrangement made between the former aviation minister Hadi Sirika and Ethiopian Air, they gave them 5 years tax waiver. They're no longer going to pay tax. But our indigenous airlines will pay those heavy duty tax waivers. And guess what? Those taxes would implement on the prices of the flight ticket that you buy. So this is where the conundrum is. Now, Festus Keyamo, while he gave this disclosure yesterday, mentioned the fact that he's not going to say a lot of things because the report is on the table of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We do know the president will be traveling today for COP28 in Dubai. So while all of that is going on, we may not hear anything until the president returns. And when he returns, we're not sure if that will be the focus of his discourse or to disclose or set up a team to investigate further on that. But this is where Nigerians are talking about this. And the reason is this. Nigerians are asking, why is Hadi Sirika still walking around? The second question is the president's situation with Emefiele vindictive or is it vengeful? If the president intends to fight corruption, why is his corrupt fighting selective? So they're literally trying to say that the president's focus on corruption is on an ethnic geographical line. Possibly because Emefiele is from the southeast. This is basically what the pulse is. And Hadi Sirika is from the north. Now, I want you to recall that Hadi Sirika, while he was the aviation minister, boasted on several occasions that nothing can happen to him. And he made this deal. The person who gave this expose was investigative journalist David Hundeyi. 3-point-something billion naira right under the nose. No, dollars, not even billion naira, $1 billion. Right under the nose of Nigerians. Ethiopian Airlines have come to say that they have no hand in this. The Nigerian government was one who approached them because of the integrity of their airline. But Mr. Tunji, I really need you to actually tell us what the sanction and punitive measure is. That's one. Two, I need you to criticize what this government is doing and how they have implicated Nigerians in a state of destitute. A destitute situation that a lot of Nigerians may not come out of.
Let me start from where do I start from? Because you have raised a lot of issues here. You see, firstly, let me just correct this impression. For me, that's my opinion. I do not believe that it was because it is from a particular region or what. I don't believe that was the reason. I do not believe that it was because Sirika was from the north and the Emefiele is from the southeast. That's not the case. We all recall, we all around when the election was going on, and the issue of money coloration or what we call it. Redesign. Yes, and we know how the effect or what the current president said at that time. He was a candidate at that time, and we heard him that he said he was targeted at him. So he sees Emefiele as an enemy that does not want him to become the president. So probably that may be the reason why Emefiele is being targeted now. It may not be because it's from the south or Sirika is from the east, from the west, north. Sorry. Yeah. So that's like that. For me, I'm not even getting confused. Do we have any Nigerian here? Or we are having a proposed Nigerian here? I'm not aware that Nigeria here is already on ground, or we are having it already.
According to a particular individual, his name is Kuje. He tried to possibly explain what is ongoing. He said, FEC, that is the Federal Executive Council, not former President Buhari, approved a company called Nigeria Air Vice.
No, I am aware of those issues. So, I'm aware of what Sirika did. I'm even aware that he came to Nigeria, brought a borrow airline plane, brought it to Nigeria, and said that's Nigerian air. What I'm asking is this: do we now agree that what Sirika did was the right thing at that time, or that there's a company called Nigerian Air now, or there's even an airline called Nigeria here? That's what I'm asking. Whether we already have a Nigerian Air already on ground. As far as I'm concerned, we don't have anybody.
It's been dormant up until.
You don't even have. You don't even have at all. If you're talking about dormant, you're talking about you have it before.
Somewhere.
It's not active. But we don't even have it. It was a lie. And it was agreed that we were deceived into it. So for me, we are getting a lot of things wrong in the way and manner we are doing things. Firstly, I don't believe that the president should be the right person to tell us whether Sirika should be sanctioned or should not be, or should be taken to, or action should be taken against him or not. Because we have been told report is being sent to the president. Yes, I'm aware he's the commander-in-chief, and I was thinking that the security agencies like EFCC or ICPC will be the one to be making investigation, looking into the issue, so as to see whether or not there can be a case against Sirika. The ICPC, EFCC, or whatever of the agency that is responsible, collaborating with the Office of the General, should be working together on this to see whether or not there is a prima facie case against him, not the president. If you are taking it to the president, you are using a political solution to it. That's what they're saying, because it's not the president that we must not be the country whereby we just want one person to direct. This is what to do. Because that's what they're trying to say now, that the president must direct the Attorney General to do his job. The president must direct the ICPC, because we will have to look at the report and direct whether or not it should be taken to court or it should not be taken to court. It is not, by my own understanding, it is not, that is not the responsibility of the president. It should be the agencies responsible for that to look into it. And if they agree that there's a case against it, they don't even have to make recourse to the president. Go to court, direct. But we're in a country whereby everything is looking at the president's body language, or what do you call it? That's what we did when Baba Bari was there. We were looking at his body languages. And then today we are where we are. So as far as I'm concerned, that has been our problem in this country. We try to implement our law in a way that is not balanced.
Or you're saying we're infusing sentiments into it?
Not sentiment in terms of maybe political alliance, in terms of maybe other, like you said, ethnic sentiments cannot be ruled out as well. They are not. I'm not going to say that the Emefiele is being charged because it's from the southeast. No, it was a role he played according to them in that whatever. So, as far as I'm concerned, the way and manner we implement our law is our problem. And that's why I always maintain when people say constitution, we must amend our law. Our law is a problem. We must throw away the constitution. We must do this and that. And that's why I always disagree. That the constitution is not the problem.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you need to write an article on that.
The constitution is not the problem. In fact, I've said this earlier. I've disagreed with our Baba. When I say Baba here, I'm talking about the Affair Babalola.
Okay.
He's also one of those who said we must change this constitution because it's our problem. It is not the problem. It's how we implement it and enforce it. The problem is the problem. If you like, go and do a brand new constitution today. If we are behaving the way we are behaving now, it will still go the same way. It is not the constitution that says local government should not collect should not be autonomy. The judiciary money should not be given to them. It is not the law that says states should hold on to local government money. They are not in the constitution. It is the practice. So and it's not the law that says if you want to charge people to court, you must look at whether it's a PDP or a APC man or whatever before you can take action against him. It is not the law that says, look, once a deputy governor, once a governor is sick, he's not capable of discharging his function, the deputy should come into office. It is not the law that says he cannot do. It is the people. So if you behave the way we are behaving, and we are expecting a change because we are going to do a new constitution, you won't get it. So as far as I'm concerned, and I can debate it anywhere, it is not the constitution that's our problem. It is the people and the implementation of that constitution that's our problem.
Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, one I'm going to put you paripasu with possibly Barrister Evans Ufeli. We are going to debate how. Barrister Evans Ufeli. We are going to debate how. No, I'm not. If our constitution is
perfect.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's perfect. Constitution is not perfect.
Your strong perspective is from the implementation of the constitution.
That has been our problem.
The interpretation. But a lot of people feel that fundamentally the constitution's arrangement, a couple of things there is wrong.
There must be an error in constitution.
Don't worry.
Because those who prepare the constitution are not born. They cannot. That thing they will not be able to know or see that it will likely happen.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that.
The implementation.
We'll come to that. Henry, do you know what I find ironical? Somebody said that the former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, said that at the time when this proposal came, the initial plan was to give them that particular incentive of waiving tax for 5 years, but that eventually it was abolished a long time ago. So there was an interview that was conducted in a Monitor television program where he had to explain what the deal was all about, and that particular tax waiver was actually, pulled off. They removed it from part of the conditions that they had with Ethiopian Air. So a couple of people feel that Festus Keyamo just wants to act like he's active or like he's doing something. So they're asking, what exactly is Festus Keyamo's initiative? What is his plan by wanting to throw out this theatric or this dramatic? Are you trying to put yourself in the light of the people by saying you are now the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, so you're actively doing something? I don't know if you understand my purview, where I'm coming from. So what would you ask Barrister Tunji in regards to that?
Well, the only question I would love to ask Barrister Tunji is this. I think I want to believe, as a personal opinion though, that the biggest problem we have is having the wrong people occupying the right positions. And the question is this: how or do you think that the Minister of Aviation is right for the job he was given? Let's even start from there before we even know if really all the things he is trying to do are credible enough to be...
Which of the ministers are you referring to? The old or the new one?
The new one.
This was an appointment.
You see, for me, when the appointment was made, and when they were giving their portfolios, I was one of those who said majority of the people appointed in this as minister in this administration will be learning on the job, and that's why and that's why you see, without doubt, Mr. Keyamo is learning on the job.
Exactly.
He has no idea of aviation industry for
very true.
Into that, and I don't believe that. Look, we lack people who have the understanding of that ministry. before when appointments be made. But unfortunately, we don't consider that in Nigeria.
Very true.
Some people will argue and tell you, no, it's just an administrative job. Anybody can handle it. There's no way you can handle it. If you want to handle anything, just not like say you want to set up a studio or something, and you say Tunji, who has no idea of how it takes, it's just an administrative work, come and handle it. I won't be able to do it because I don't understand it. You must have the basic understanding of that thing before you can even be administer that particular ministry. So we have people in government. To me, if you ask me one simple question now, that before when I was in secondary school, but by this time when you ask us, we'll be able to tell you everything. Today, even me that is not in school now, that is not a secondary school student, if you ask me now to name 10 ministers in this cabinet, I may not be able to do that. Those I will remember their names because they have been around for long, not because they are ministers. I will remember their name. I may not even remember their portfolio.
Yeah, there is some portfolio.
And you see the way things are going here now. We have people who are learning on the job. And that's why you don't see them bringing out anything.
We already know the method through which the way they do the appointments here is not based on the requirement or prerequisites of the person or the person's capacity or experience in that particular ministry.
That's why they don't attach portfolio to it when they are doing it.
Because they already know that those guys can actually get persons who will be their aides, direct them, tell them what to do. But would we say that this venture Festus Keyamo took on is a venture that is required because there was a lot of complaints in the aviation sector? Is it a venture that is required, or would you say he's literally just trying to grandstand, as a couple of critics are alleging?
No, in as much as it's part of his area, he need to look into it. He need to also know he cannot ignore it. You cannot just say because we have so many issues on ground, there is just ignore a particular issue. No, this is even a major issue as far as I'm concerned because we have spent a lot of money on it, and then we need to know what has happened to it. We need to be told the truth. Do we have, I just asked the question now we are debating it. Do we have Nigeria here? That is the question we should even start from.
Okay.
Or we just have it on paper. We don't have it on ground as far as I'm concerned. We only have it on paper. And even the one they are calling Nigeria here as far as I'm concerned, if what the former minister of aviation told us is to go by, that is not in Nigeria here. Because majority of it are owned by the Ethiopian whatever. We only have a little shareholding in it, and then it's just like a partnership as far as I'm concerned, and they are just using our name so giving them those tax waivers or whatever. For me, I see it's not what's it called? It's not equitable for those Nigerians who are into that business. Were they also giving that kind of advantage? And that's why you see some people in this country, individual becomes they survive in their business, and other people are dying because they have government patronage. Every business owners in Nigeria should be supported by government, not those particular.
According to one of the elder statesmen, Mahdi Shehu, he said on the Ford called Nigeria, if what Festus Keyamo is saying is true, then the former president was not only irresponsible, but he was reckless and who was out to destroy local businesses. His aviation minister, that is Hadi Sirika, patently unpatriotic, fluid, evasive, and was economic with real facts, literally deliberately tried to stifle businesses. And how come he's working freely? So with this investigation or this disclosure made by Festus Keyamo, of course, I'm sure they've been able to carry out in-depth analysis of what is going on in that sector under Hadi Sirika. What is the next step?
Now, unfortunately, let me just come before I go to that. Unfortunately, Keyamo that we're talking about here was part of the former administration. And I remember during the campaign, he was also praising this issue of when we are raising this issue that is raising now, that this Nigeria here is a fraud. He was one of those that was defending the project at that time. So now he's seeing what we was not seeing at the time. So that's one of the problems in this country, insincerity on the part of those in government. When they are not in government, they see what other people see. When they are in government, they see different things. So as far as I'm concerned, Keyamo, yes, he has the right to say it now. But he was not saying what he was saying now at the time when that thing happened. But that was maybe the people who are, maybe the issue we are talking about now, they not even arise. If those who in government at that time have told us the truth that, look, from what we are seeing from this man, we have not seen anything, even though we are in government as well. But they will not say so. They will back it, they will support it, and then thereafter they will say something. So Keyamo is part of his job. He need to, as in official, the issue is looking into, it's part of his job. He need to look into it. He need to see whether or not it can be moved forward, or maybe they will kill it at this level. Probably that's what they are trying to do now. So, unfortunately too, we have not seen his own program, personal program for
Okay.
the aviation industry. Well, maybe me, I've not seen it. You may have seen it. I don't know. But I have not seen a clear program from Kiyamo as to this is
The prospect
this
of
is what I want. This is what I want to
Do you
achieve.
think he's trying to
Well-
clog out whatever is there before with the previous administration before he commences on whatever new
That's what we do
prospects?
in Nigeria. Sometimes when we come, we'll just be pushing the former ones to the end of their regime. Thereafter, when it's about 2 or so months to go or a year to go, then they start thinking of what to do for the election purposes. So as far as I'm concerned, let's just wait. That people will say, but for me, it's not too early. If it's not too early to acquire over 20 trillion debts within 6 months, it is not too early to see results. The people will
Okay.
tell you it's too early, that we should give them time. It is not early for us to acquire that 20, because when they came in, our debt, what they say it was 77 trillion or so, and today we are talking about something
94 trillion.
trillion. So they have acquired over 20
20.
trillion and in 6 months, and people are telling me to be patient. So where is that 22 trillion? Where has it gone to?
Exactly.
And we're also making money in the country. So for me, we need to ask questions. Like for Emefiele, like I said, yes, people may say there is no doubt that it was because of his role in the
Yes.
2023 election.
Elections.
That's why he's facing what he's facing. If he has not played that role, today, no matter what he has done, you won't see this.
Exactly.
So that's Nigeria for you. So it's not like he's saying, look, we will pay you back your coins. What you did to us during the election that we were going to, that's the way I see it. But for me, if you have something in your hand, and you give an opportunity to
All right.
hold you.
All right, that's the size of our package on Enterprise Morning today, and a very wonderful appreciation to you, Barrister Tunji, for being part of our programs for today, and to you, Esther. Love to say thank you for being part of our show. As usual, I am Henry Igwebike. Until tomorrow, bye from us.
Enterprise TV, your one-stop shop for news, programs, human angle stories, the economy, sports, and much more. We go the extra mile to bring incredible details to you. So hop on the train now. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.